right, guys, welcome to the call. Thank you for coming and being here on your Monday night. We have an exciting call today, actually one that I'm really excited about. After a long talk with Miss Melanie Mitro and figuring out what exactly she's done differently in her business to have it grow so consistently and rise to the top where she's literally almost always on the top sales or top recruiter, or sometimes both, every week on these team calls. And I realized it's not by chance or luck that she's gotten to that point, and she has some amazing things that she's doing to grow her business. So I want to get to that, and right after we get done with our recognition segment that we do every single week. I know I saw a bunch of you were first time on the call, so welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. It's something that really can change your business when you plug into everything this team offers and everything Beachbody offers. There's so many resources for you to grow both your business and yourself. And this is a really important aspect of every single week. Even if you can't make it on live, you always want to go to our document section in the Bombshell Dynasty group page in Facebook and find the recording and listen to it. You can skip through the recognition part and go right to the nitty gritty and the training. It only takes about 15-20 minutes. So definitely dedicate yourself to doing that. You want to be in a constant state of learning in this business to continue to grow. So to get started, we always recognize our brand new coaches that signed on just this past 6 days. So without further ado, we have Miss Amanda Noble, Lori Ross, Jeremy Cunningham, Sandy Fair, Linda Miller, Melissa McCurdy, Bruce Herrick, Wendy Toribio, Amber Gibbs, Jessica Miller, Vinny Rodriguez, Slottower, and Christy Garcia. Welcome to the team, guys. I know Wendy, I had to get her pronunciation for her name, so hopefully I didn't butcher it too bad. But all the rest of you had pretty easy names. So thank you for joining our team. We're really excited to get you going. And like I said, these are a great way to every single week continue to grow your knowledge about the business and about what other coaches are doing, because we all do it differently. There's not one way to be a successful coach. And that's what you'll find that come on and share the way that they grow their business. Yes, some pieces are the same, but most are very different. And you never know which will be best for your personality type. So you don't ever want to put yourself in a corner and do something that you don't enjoy. Coaching is always supposed to be fun. It's always supposed to be something that gets you going and getting up in the morning. And what you'll hear from Melanie is how passionate she is about this business and how she wakes up every single day and can't wait to get to work. And that's what you have to find. You have to find your niche. And I know if you guys were on the call last week, she talked about how important it is to find your niche market and really focus in on that, because you don't want to advertise yourself to the world. It's really hard to grow a business when you're trying to advertise to everybody. You really want to find those people that you relate to them and they relate to you. We have Miss Gretchen Straits as our top sales coach of the week last week. She had 735 PV. A coach for like 3, maybe 4 weeks. So that just goes to show you, new coaches, you can come in this and rock because you have an untapped warm market. A warm market is your friends, your family, and your friends' friends, people that you already know. And you know, a lot of us that have been in the business a while, we're more working on our cold market, which is people that we don't necessarily know. You have to actually go out and find those people. So you have an opportunity to really grow your business quickly because you have a completely untapped market, which is what Gretchen's been doing. She had a baby 3 months ago and dedicated herself to getting in the best shape possible, knew that she wanted to become a coach before she had her baby. And so she tracked her results and has done all the right things. She learned the business, and it's definitely her own business because she's already at 601 PV for this week, and we still have 2 days left. So great job, Gretchen. We talked on the phone the other day, and it was an unbelievable conversation. I'm super excited about everything that you're doing, so congrats. Top 5 for the team, we have Gretchen, Melanie Mitro, who, like I said, is normal and who is our guest speaker for tonight, Shay Stanford, Katie Hefner, and Sandy Tochi. Congratulations, guys. Our top team builders for last week were Mr. Scotty Hobbs and Abby Fix. Both of them are diamond coaches, and they're continuing to grow their empire. And I know they will both be star diamond coaches very, very, very soon. So congratulations to you guys and all the work that you keep growing Dynasty. We have two new enrolled coaches, and they just happen to be Becky Barantini, who is Hillary Missoula's upline coach. So Hillary helped make Becky Emerald, and now Hillary's also an Emerald coach, growing together. Super proud. Something to be even more proud of, though, is Miss Hillary has just won $1,000 with the Beachbody Challenge, being a finalist. She was a monthly winner. She had a transformation with Shakeology. She's been using it for the past month and has awesome results. And we have to make sure, because they will eventually have her a voting thing for the 3 months, and we'll have to all get together as a team and help her win that $5,000 in a trip to LA, because it would be so cool to have one of our own represented on stage at the summit. So congratulations, Hillary, and keep working. I know that you've come a long way, and I know you have a ways to go to where you could be in the booth and really, really represent us as a team and yourself as a coach so incredibly well. And it just shows that you're growing an amazing business because you're already an Emerald coach, which I think you just became a coach a few weeks ago, which is crazy. Hillary's not on right now. Oh, that sucks. Hillary, listen to the recording. We love you. Congratulations on everything you're doing. Okay, I'm just going to cover, oh, my little slide got messed up. Two little things before I put Melanie on the call. One of the big things for me, and I don't know, I'm sure most of you guys have heard about the Beachbody Challenge and these small challenge groups that we're starting to do, and the challenge packs, which you can get if you get a pack, if your customer orders a pack, they get the workout program, Shakeology, and a 30-day trial of Club. And when I was starting to think about it, the minimum is $160 for a pack, and it goes up to $205. For the smallest pack, sorry, my voice is starting to break up. For the smallest pack, you make a $50 commission, and for the largest pack, you make a $70 commission. So I was trying to think of different ways that you guys can expand your challenge groups and start to tap into your friends' friends and your friends' friends' friends. And I know some people aren't at the point where they feel comfortable for just asking for referrals. They're just starting to get into the business, and they feel like they need to really actually ask for referrals. But I thought one way that you guys could do that is Beachbody just announced on the national call today that they would have e-gift certificates that you could buy. And I thought, what if we took half the money, maybe not even half if it's a $70 commission, and you gave that for people. If their friends bought a challenge pack, you would give them a referral fee of $25 gift certificate towards their own Beachbody products. You're going to end up getting commission on their order anyway when they do order something. And it's kind of a way to give them a benefit and asking for those referrals, because you wouldn't necessarily have that person ever buy something from you if you weren't to go through your friend anyway. So it's kind of a nice way for you to be able to expand your business and put a feeler out there to your friends so that they have an incentive to go actually aggressively ask people if they would want to buy a challenge pack or if they want to enter a challenge with them. So like, for instance, if I have a challenge going and somebody says they want to do a Turbo Fire challenge, but there's only 2 people at this point that want to do the Turbo Fire challenge, and I don't have anybody else biting, what I would people and say, hey, I have this really cool idea. If I was to give you a $25 gift certificate for every friend that you had join this group with you, and if you could all possibly pay for your Shakeology, possibly pay for your workout, or just take a discount off of your pack, if I was to do that, would you go ask your friends and see if they'd want to be a part of the challenge with you? Most people are going to be willing to do that because, one, who doesn't want to be in a challenge with their friend? We have a blondes versus brunettes challenge going on that started today, and I know most of the girls personally, which is really cool for me because it pushes me further knowing that I'm going to run into them. And I know the same thing would happen if a challenger was to go refer their friends and they were to feel more accountable to that person and also get a kind of little break on their own pricing. And you don't always want to push people to become a coach. Yes, you can tell them if they refer 3 people, you could say, well, you know, if you became a coach, you would actually make $210. So you can make $70 for each pack. Or you can just take the referral fee and I'll give you $75 gift certificate. But you could give them both options. That way they would know that they have that option. And if they don't want to become a coach, they don't have to. Because what we don't want to do is we don't want to force people into coaching. If they don't want to coach, that's fine. You still need retail customers. So anyway, just something that popped in my head last Thursday after Fit Club. And I thought I would share that with you guys in case you want to brainstorm on it and try it out and make it a little test market. You're not losing out because it's not sales that you would make normally anyway. I feel like it's a win-win. Not to mention, after that, if those packs, the people that bought the packs, if they continue to get their Shakeology orders, you're making $30 a month off their Shakeology orders. So try it out and see how it goes, and you can adjust it to however you want it to be. It doesn't necessarily have to be a $25 gift certificate. It can be whatever incentive you want to offer. Oh, how many slides got messed up? All right. Well, in the email, for those of you who were able to open it, I talked a little bit about finding your value. What do you offer as a coach that people would want to have you as their coach? You know, because I know when new coaches come on, they're not really sure what a coach does necessarily, and they don't feel like a fitness expert or a nutrition expert, and they're not at their goal, and so they're intimidated. But you really have to find out what kind of value you can offer. Oh, yay, thank you. I'm glad you like the emails. You have to figure out, what is your niche? What are you able to do? And all of us, no matter if you're not a master motivator or you don't have fitness and nutrition expertise at this point, Google is my best friend, and I know is many of my bloggers' best friends, including Katie. That is endless amounts of knowledge that you can have at your fingertips. So a lot of times what I do is I'll follow different people that I know a lot about nutrition. So Jamie Eason is somebody who I follow nonstop because there is a wealth of knowledge. So I take her knowledge and then I write something similar to it and then post it to my challengers. And that creates value. That makes them think, this girl has valuable tips. This is information I wouldn't have known without her. So then a coach starts to become defined to them. You know what I'm saying? So you have to kind of find your way. This is like a picture of a meal it was one day of a meal for me. So my challengers had a problem with okay, little meals. What does a little meal mean? And how do you fit such and such amount of meals in a day? And so I was just giving them clean meals, small protein and vegetables. This was before I kind of did the vegan thing. But I showed them an example of that, and it helps put their mind, it wraps their mind around the whole meal plan idea. People are very visual a lot of times, and so that kind of thing is great for people to be able to see what exactly you eat. Well, if you don't actually know how to eat like that yet, what do? You go research it. You have to be in a constant state of learning. So wherever you're lacking in knowledge, you need to be going and focusing on that and building on your own knowledge to be able to share with people and create value. I know some of you might have listened to Carl Deichler talk on this live feed that he did today, but he talked about the importance of knowing your strengths and weaknesses. And for me personally, I always try to focus my personal development, and which all of you guys should be doing on a daily basis. You should be focusing on your weaknesses to find out, okay, so I'm horrible at organization. I will totally admit to you guys. I have to constantly work at it. I have to constantly work on time management, staying focused. And so I buy books and audio and I research in that area. And I constantly work on it to get better at it, because you can strengthen these weaknesses. And then when I know my strengths, I also focus on them and find out, okay, I'm really good at that. That's what I'm going to focus on advertising myself to other people. When I'm going to be posting something, I know I'm very good at motivation. I'm very good at writing in little inspiring tips and stuff. So when I'm working with my customers, that's what I'm going to focus on. But when I'm working with myself, I'm going to focus on my weaknesses, because I want to make myself a better version of myself. Everybody continuously needs to be doing personal development. If Carl Deichler, the CEO of Beachbody, reads daily, you need to read daily. If Craig Holliday is still doing personal development, if Tony Robbins is still doing daily personal development, then you need to be doing personal development. We all do. This is not something that ever ends. It's not something you do when you're a new coach. It's not something you do when you're a diamond coach. It's something you do when you're a 15, 20, 30-star diamond coach. You always push yourself past the brink. As soon as you get comfortable is when your income steadies out and almost drops. Because you can push and push and push and you'll see a steady incline, and then as soon as you relax, as soon as you let yourself go, as soon as you accept that, oh, I know it all, I don't need to be on these calls anymore, and I didn't learn anything in the last call, so I'm not gonna go on the next one. It'll be the next one that you miss out on the thing that was supposed to hit you. You know, not every single call is going to be life and groundbreaking for you. Maybe it's not meant for you that week, but it's always good to hear this knowledge over and over again. It gets drilled into your mind. But if you stop doing the things that helped you in the beginning, it just won't happen for you. It won't happen for your business because you have to stay plugged into this team and into Beachbody. If you see that news feed on your back office, I continually have to click through those things, and I read them even if they're the most mundane, boring stuff. I still read through it because it's my job to do that. So anyway, back to creating value. Find those things that are your strengths. Find those things that you're good at. If you're a great researcher, then go research people that are successful already and that have great wealth of knowledge and tap into it. If you're a great motivator, tap into that. I mean, gosh, a great coach can be such a great motivator. You'll get people that flock to you because people really want to feel that comfort of like, this person's going to hold me accountable. This person's going to bring the best out of me. And I feel like that's something that I'm strong at. And that's the reason why I do have the draw that I have. And I know Scotty's the same way. He does a great job of making people feel empowered. And as coaches, we're encouragers. So anyway, that was just an idea. Another thing that Melanie's going to be covering is some ways that she adds value. And I know the next slide has her coming on the call. So I want to tell you a little bit about Melanie. She is signed on through Nikki Minton, who is Katie Hefner's coach. And she just signed on July 22nd of this year. She was originally Summer Slim Down Challenge, and she dedicated herself to it 100%. She did the program 100%. No excuses. She followed the diet. She followed the nutrition plan. She followed the plan exactly how it was supposed to be done, and she finished it. She's done the business the exact same way. I'll tell you, if you know anything about personality types, she is an emerald personality. She's very planned and strategic, and she wants to go with everything to fine-tooth comb. And that's what she's done with, learning this business. She wasn't mundane stuff because she knew it was that mundane stuff, the knowledge that she just had to get the foundation of her business set that would catapult her to the level she's at now. So I am extremely excited to welcome Miss Melanie Mitchell to the call. Melanie, if you can press start broadcasting.
Hello. All right. Thanks, guys, for having me on the call tonight. Okay, so whenever I was asked to do this call, I really had to think about what it was that I was doing because I honestly didn't know. And so I spent a lot of time talking to some of my close friends and, some of the people that are in my challenges right now that I'm really good friends with. And so they started giving me some good feedback. And so, I think I've come up with some really good personal things that people have given me that I can share with you guys tonight. So I'm really quickly going to go through my story, and then I'll tell you kind of how I run the business so far and what's kind of worked for me at this point. So I, first and foremost, and I'm a mom. I'm a stay-at-home mom of two boys, Landon, who is 2.5 years old, and Bryce, who is 10 months old. And like Lindsay said, I got started with Beachbody back in May with the Summer Slim Down Challenge. And so Nikki had messaged me on Facebook and had said, hey, I must have posted that I was trying to lose weight. And so she had messaged me and said, hey, I'm doing this Summer Slim Down Challenge, and I would really like you to be a part of it. And I see that you're having a tough time. And so, this would be a really great support system. And so I thought, yeah, what the heck, what do I have to lose? I didn't really have any other options at that point. I had just given birth in January, and I needed something. I needed to pick me up. I was kind of at the lowest point of my life, and with my self-image. So I took my before pictures, and I started with Insanity. I decided that that was the program I was going to do. People had told me a little bit about it, and so that's what I did. And I basically, from that point on, when I said yes, I was going to do it, I didn't miss a workout. And I probably overtrained. I think I never took a break. And I kept a private blog on my journey, which I had kind of started, which was like my personal, just kind of all the emotions that you go through when you're trying to work out and you're trying to change your body, and the ups and downs. And so, I never posted it and I never shared it with anybody, but I always kept track of my journey from day one until day 60. And so another thing I did was I researched everything. I was really in it. I was struggling with the weight loss, and at 30 days, I really wasn't seeing a huge difference. So I had seen people post about eating clean. So I went out, I bought all the books, started researching it, and I transformed my entire family, and we all eat clean now. So at the end of 60 days, everybody was posting their pictures in the Summer Slim Down Challenge, and I thought, I just couldn't do that. I couldn't post it. And so it got to a point where I couldn't believe the change that had happened from day 1 to day 60. So I just stuck it on my Facebook page and thought, what the heck, I'll see what people have to say. And it was amazing. I mean, I could not believe the amount of people that I was just friends with, acquaintances with, that were commenting on what I was doing. And started asking me, how did I get those results? And they wanted to do it too, and started referring them to Nikki. And Nikki's going, Melanie, why don't you just be a coach? Because you know how to do this. You can do this. And so it was July, and it was my birthday. And my husband was totally against me getting Shakeology because he didn't want me to spend the money. And so I decided to use my birthday money to sign up as a coach and to buy Shakeology, which is exactly what I did. And he was so mad at me. I mean, he didn't talk to me for a good 2 days. But I kind of decided at that point that I was going to give it everything that I had, and I was going to prove him wrong. I was going to prove to him that this wasn't a pyramid scheme, and that, I could really change people's lives because people were so interested in what I was doing. And so when I started coaching, my only goal was to change one person's life. That was the only thing that I wanted to do. Money was not even in my Getting Started Right interview. It was all about, changing somebody's life. And so I started the Fit for Fall Challenge. Nikki and I kind of did that together, and it was kind of a bust. But we had just one person that came out of that challenge that was amazing. My friend Sarah, that I have been friends with for a very long time, I had gone in to get my nails done. She was the person who did my nails, and I was telling her about Insanity and what I was doing. And she said, I have P90X at home. Maybe I'll do that. And so about a week later, I messaged her and said, hey, are you still doing P90X? I'm doing this challenge. Are you interested in doing it? And she did. And she has been amazing and has lost all of this weight. She's my accountability partner. She was struggling in the morning to get up for her workouts. And so 5:45 is when she gets up. And I said, I'll get up with you in the mornings and I'll work out with you. And so every morning we would text each other, and we still do to this day, and say, hey, let's bring it, or, I'm going to kick Tony Horton's butt, or whatever. We just kind of motivate each other back and forth. And I taught her how to eat clean. We sat down and did meal plans together. And because of that, she refers people to me all the time, and she doesn't want to be a coach, and because she's trying to start her own business, but she's word of mouth has now given me a ton of business because of that. And I really feel like I was able to coach her because I was doing Insanity. I did P90X. I was a product of the product. I learned how to eat clean. And I think that really is a huge key. I can take my challengers and I can talk to them from experience, because I still to this day work out 6 days a week. I drink my Shakeology every day, and I really lead by example. And, people say that that has been a deciding factor for them in deciding whether or not to become a customer of mine, is that I was a real person. They saw my transformation and it was real. It was not somebody else's an infomercial that they didn't know. It was me. It was the girl down the street. And so, people really are able to identify with that. And as far as challenges go, that is kind of one of the things that I really like to do. And I put a lot of time into my challenges because I truly, truly care about people. I want them to succeed. I want them to have that amazing transformation at the end. I want them to feel how I did when I finished that. I posted that picture and I knew, that I did that. That was my hard work. And so, I create my challenge groups and I spend an hour a day responding to their posts. I make daily assignments for them. I post motivational quotes and inspiration, which now I use my Hootsuite account to do my daily assignments and actually plan them a week ahead of time so that they automatically post, which saves me a lot of time because I have 3 different groups going right now. And so for my first challenge group that I did on my own, which is my Fab 5 challenge, I really started promoting it 2 weeks before the challenge started. And I keep a blog, and so I did a blog post on it. I posted on Facebook. I emailed people that I thought would be interested. I talked about it at Fit Club. I went to my mom's group that I'm involved in, talked to the girls there, the neighbors on my street. I talked it up over and over. I talked about the challenge pack, so I was blue in the face. And what I did was I had people do both Shakeology and a fitness program because I found out that when people don't invest in both of those together, they are not vested. They tend to fall off the wagon. But people, when they put money into it, I feel like they are more invested in what they're doing. And so that has really worked for me. And what I do is I create the group the week before, and I add the people, and then I send them my challenge rules and their to-do, their first homework assignment. And their first homework assignment is that they have to write their why. So they have to write why they want to do this challenge, and really and I tell them, make it personal, make it deep down and emotional. And then I make them write their week 1 goal, their 30-day goal, their 60-day goal, and their 90-day goal. And then I have a document made inside the closed Facebook support group with their name on it, and they have to put that information in there so that everybody in that group can see and read about them. And so it kind of gives that personal connection. And then I also assign everybody an accountability partner within that group. So yes, I post daily, but they have somebody else that they can text each other with and kind of do what Sarah and I do for each other. And so that kind of helps them even develop relationships within that group too. So, all my orders are ready to go. Everything's placed the week before. This gives them time to really get settled. And the last thing I have them do is the thing that Lindsay posted about the 10 challenge commitment. I have them print that out and sign it and actually take a picture with it and post that in the group too. And then they have to post that on the wall somewhere where they see it every day. And before we even get started. And so that has been awesome. Everybody has kept up with that part also. So as far as daily assignments, just some things that I make them do every day is they have to post a picture, post workout, post a picture of their Shakeology and the recipe they use. At the beginning, I have them post their week 1 goal. And so I kind of structure the whole challenge. I kind of structure it into sections in the month. So the whole first month is exercise focused. We're developing a routine, we're developing a habit. It takes 25 days to develop a good routine. So that's kind of what I talk about pushing through the soreness, about, sticking with it, picking the time of day when you're going to work out. And then month 2, I do diet and nutrition. So I talk about eating clean, about your meals. I even have them keep a food log. And some of the girls in my current challenge actually live close to me. So I have had them drop off a food log, or they meet with me to go over meal plans. I go over the club membership. I have a document that I post too about that. If they aren't a club member already, they didn't purchase a challenge pack, then I go over that with them as well as the benefits. And then the last month, I really focus on pushing yourself harder and what are you going to do next. So, increasing your reps or increasing your weight to get those max results. And then this is the point where I introduce coaching. I put out that video and kind of put my feelers out to see if anybody's interested in it as well. And, if I don't hear from my girls and my challenges, I call them, I email them, I text them. if I don't hear from them in a couple of days, I'm on them to make sure that they are okay. And I usually just even text them to say, hey, how's life going? Wanted to check in and see how things are going. Or I plan a play date for the kids, or we get together. So I find a way to find out what is going on in their lives also. Another thing that I do is I had a party after the first month of my Fab Five challenge to kind of celebrate finishing month one, because that's a big accomplishment. And so since we were kind of going into the holidays too, I went through some tips about making it through the holidays without falling off the wagon, and sticking with your fitness and exercise. And I made all clean recipes, and then I made a handout for each one of them to take home with them. And so all the recipes I made, they were able to take that recipe home with them. And everybody, went home and said they were going to try them, and everybody has. And, I hear them sharing it with other people too. So that's really, awesome. So I feel like because the time and effort I put in, and that is why I now get these referrals, is because of the personal touches, and even just this week got a handwritten note from one of the girls in my challenges thanking me for the impact that I've made in her life. And that carries weight. People want to feel like you care about them, especially they just invested their money, and, they will refer other people because of that, because you're adding value to their life, and they're going to talk with their friends and their friends, and people are going to start friending you on Facebook, and they're going to be following you, and before you know it, they're going to be asking to be part of your challenge too. So it's quality. It's the quality over quantity. So I don't care about the money. I care more about changing these people's lives, and helping them get fit. I've learned so much through my own personal journey that I want to share it with others. And so the money will just come, and it is coming for me. And, I find articles, I do blog posts based on what my challengers and my customers are going through just in life in general. So that's really how I run my challenge groups. The other thing that is a huge part of my business is fit clubs, which I started my first fit club, the 724 Fit Club, about 6 weeks ago, just because I wanted to share my knowledge with other people. And so I researched Fit Club. I went into the back office and I watched the webinar. I took 4 pages of notes. I talked with Arnell. I really planned out my strategy, and I found that I found a place that was free. I did my meetup site, promoted it with a Facebook event. I texted, I emailed, I called everybody that I knew. I did all sorts of things to try to get the word out. I had my neighborhood do an email blast to everybody in the plan about Fit Club. And so I really made sure that I went in on that first night of Fit Club prepared, and I put forth a professional appearance. So I prepared a speech. I showed my insanity transformation video. I talked about my personal story. And I told people basically the reason that I was there was because I wanted to share my knowledge with other people. And it wasn't to make money. Yeah, it's always nice. And if you're interested in what we're doing and you would like to do it, then fine. But, I just really want to share my knowledge with other people. And that seemed to put everybody at ease. Like, I wasn't just trying to sell them something when they walked through the door. And another thing that I do is I open the doors early. So 30 minutes before our workout actually starts, each week I have a different nutritional tip that I go over with them. And so I hand out recipes, or I do clean eating tips, or I do like the power of snacking, or I give them something that they can take home with them also. And so it usually generates really awesome discussion before and after Fit Club about what I'm doing, and then that kind of helps build customer base as well. We've also done a Fit Club challenge for weight loss, where it's called our Fit Club Challenge, basically Fall Fit Club Challenge. And so we had people come early to Fit Club. We did their measurements. We took their pictures. We weighed them, and then I went home and I read through. I had them fill out a questionnaire. I went home and I read through them all, and then I personally emailed them all with what fitness program I thought would work out best for what they gave me. And so that really helped people out too. And so we'll see how that goes. We're kind of halfway through that right now. And again, this is just adding value to people's life. And so, they feel like they're getting my personal attention. And these fit clubs and this Beachbody, it's been such an amazing, amazing endeavor for me. I have met people this way that I wouldn't have otherwise connected with. And now I've started another fit club location, the Revolution Physical Therapy, which is about 20 minutes away from our current one. And I have another one that's going to start in January. And, I really feel like this is my fuel for the week. And so, some weeks I don't want to go to Fit Club, but afterwards I always feel pumped. I'm ready to go for the next week. I get my coach time with the other coaches that come, and we share ideas and we brainstorm about the business too. So, that's been really great for me personally. Um, Also, I really try to keep it really personal. I email people and text them each week to remind them about Fit Club. And I also do some promotional things where I do, you bring the most friends and I'll give you a Shakeology shaker cup and a sample of Shakeology if you bring the most new friends to class each week. And so I also do a lot like recognizing our challenge winners. Nikki and I gave Sarah her prize for winning the Fit for Fall challenge at Fit Club. We're going to show her transformation video at Fit Club too. So, other people can talk about their successes and they can see that, oh, these challenges really do work. And we talk about the cleanses and people talk about their experiences. So it's really an open, inviting environment. I also do slideshows of important information like the challenge pack, the Shakeology cleanse, the challenges we're doing. And tomorrow night, we're also doing we're doing a free fitness evaluation and a fit test for anybody that's interested. And then we're going to recommend a program afterwards. So I just took the fit test from our back office, which is what you do when you create your Beachbody account. So I printed that out and then I created my own little survey for people. And so I'm going to give that to them afterwards, and that's going to have our recommendations on there. So a few things as I wrap up, I just want to tell you, some of the most important activities that you can do as a coach is really learn the business inside and out. And that's what I did. I didn't do 90 days to diamond, but I felt like what made myself confident in talking about the product. And I feel like I can tell people what fitness program that I recommend because I've either done it or I've gone into the back office and read it, which they have those PDFs on every fitness program. So I did that. I took notes. I watched the video on each program. And then I was able to say to people, hey, I think that because you're this type of person, this workout would fit best for you. I also researched Shakeology because that's always the first thing people ask you. And I practiced my locker room speech. So I could basically sell it to anyone and tailor it to their needs, basically young and old. And, my niche market is really moms with new babies. So I try to tailor my marketing to those people because that's what I can speak most of experience from. So new coaches, listen to Craig Holliday's 90 Days to Excellence. That was amazing. That helped me manage my time. It helped me really get started, gave me some fuel for my fire. And, I really learned everything that there is to know by plugging into all of our message groups and finding my market. So put some personal attention into your customers. Put the time into it. I probably easily do 40 hours a week. I get up at 5:45. I work out every day, shower. I do an hour of work before my kids even get out of bed. I do at least 2 hours in the afternoon when they nap, and then in the evenings when they go to bed. I'm up till 11 or 11:30 every night. I created my AWeber emails. I follow up with customers. I'm creating new assignments. I write blog posts. I do a lot of reading so that I can constantly come up with fresh new ideas to share with customers. So, I'm living by experience, and I do the same things that I tell my customers to do. And so, if you're struggling with your business, you have to look back and ask yourself, am I doing what I'm telling my customers to do? Post your transformation. I log my workouts into Wowie. I always use the Workout Now tab, and I post it to Facebook so that others can see that I'm working out. And people will randomly post me about how I've inspired them to get up early and work out just because I post that. So, I've been putting in crazy hours and for the past 3 months, and I'm just now starting to see the big paychecks coming in. So it's hard work, but it's worth it. I got 3 new coaches in 1 week just because I've been consistent and I was patient and I didn't push people. And when I saw the opportunity, I shared it. And I just really focus on other people getting their transformations first before I ask them about coaching or tell them about what coaching is. I asked one of my friends, what she thought being successful meant. And she said, keys to success in business are being focused, being disciplined, being committed and driven. And most importantly, that burning and total belief in what you are standing for and what you're trying to achieve. You need a vision and you need the ability to get others to buy into that same vision. So, every morning I wake up and I cannot wait to get to work. I love my job. I eat, I sleep, and I dream about how I'm going to make this business even bigger and better. If I lack inspiration, I usually post or I text one of my Beachbody coaches And somebody comes through with some awesome tips and I'm ready to go. So just want to leave you with this, with your business. In this business, a lot of people come into it with the mindset that they want a quick fix and that they aren't willing to slow down and build a solid foundation once and for all. Take the time to really lay your foundation, and you can weather the storm through the ups and downs of your business if you do that. And finally, happiness is knowing who you are, what you want, and how you want it. And happiness is knowing you are doing the right things for yourself and the right people. And that's how I live my life every day. So thanks for letting me share this with you guys. And it's been a great journey, and I'm really looking forward to what this has to offer for me. So thanks.
I told you. It's going to be an amazing call. Wow. Thank you so much, Melanie. That was a wealth of knowledge. And honestly, I feel like so many of you need to go back and re-listen and re-listen and re-listen to her tips, take notes. She's definitely an inspiration. She definitely works hard. And honestly, what she does is what it takes to be a top coach. Like, any of you guys can kind of go through this, and you can make a couple sales, and you can kind of build a slow business and stuff. But if you really have that thing in you that says you want to be a top coach, like you really want to make this thing happen, you've got to approach it the way that she did. She approached it like she did her working out. She said, I'm not just going to do that. I mean, she didn't go into the challenge and she was like, well, I'm sure there was many days she didn't feel like working out when she woke up, but she had committed herself and she went all in. And she did the same thing with the business. It's exactly the way that, honestly, every single top coach that has developed in this team has approached the business the same way. I'm not saying that all of them approached it immediately like that, but it came to the point, there's a tipping point where you have to decide if you're going to be proactive, if you're going to be the one that goes and finds ways to gain your knowledge and to expand your business and to learn marketing. Those are the people that become top coaches. And there's a few people on this team that, my gosh, you are emerging superstars, not kidding, that come the start of the brand new year. There's a clean slate for every single person. That means I'm not top coach anymore. I'm just a normal person, and I have to work just as hard as everybody else to build my business again. So you have the same opportunity that I had last year, where everything started at par, to compete with every single coach out there. It doesn't take you having a huge network of people. Melanie didn't know any more people than you know, started out in May on her own journey, but she fully committed. She shared her journey from day one. Even when she wasn't a coach, she blogged about it. And she's now built that credibility because people have seen that she was willing and able to make those changes in her own life, which makes it real to them. And there's a trust factor there. And then she didn't go out and try to sell every single person on it. She focused with a couple core group of people, some good friends. And she said, I really want to change your life, and making them have a great transformation. And then from there, they began to refer people to her, and that's how she's built her business. All of you guys have a few friends that could use their lives being changed. With the obesity rate the way it is, and the country, everybody's suffering as far as financially and emotionally, we all need support. We all need somebody to encourage us and to keep us accountable in our lives, whether or not you're obese or even taken away from you or whatever. We all need that accountability in our lives. So you can be that person for your close friends, and you don't have to sell them something. You can just say, can you go on this journey with me, and come over to my house a couple times a week and work out with me, and kind of get them in the mode to where they're going, and then see what happens. And you might never sell them on something, but I'm saying with that referral thing, they might have friends that you don't know. They might fall in love with the idea of getting in shape, and you could say, hey, I know you can't afford to buy your P90X, but what if we go get like a group of 2 or 3 more girls, get them going, and we can ride it out from here, and you can be able to do everything that you want to do with your life, and I will totally support you through it. And then all of a sudden, you've got a challenge group. Just an idea to think about. There was another thing that I wanted to, we have two things to cover before we end the call. There was a great analogy posted by another coach in Florida named Jack Hayes. And some coaches in Florida, we have this group, and they all kind of post them there, and they post, some of them aren't doing so well, and they're frustrated, posted that, what if you work at a tanning bed? Or I'm sorry, what if you've been going to the same tanning bed for 5 years? You know, you go in there all the time, you know how to work the machines, you know how to clean the machines, you're pretty familiar with the customers, you're pretty familiar with the employees. It would be super easy, you're a product of the product, right? It would be super easy for you to come in and be an employee of that tanning bed. You could go work there, and it probably wouldn't be a very difficult transition for you. But the difference is, could you go into the tanning bed and like open your own? Could you be an owner of a tanning bed with them being a person that was a product of the product, without gaining any more knowledge about business, about marketing? You just buy tanning beds and put them in a room and clean them right and expect your business to grow. No, you have to learn the ins and outs of the business side, which you guys aren't necessarily familiar with. I sure wasn't. I never really had a successful business before. I've had to learn as I go and grow outside of just going through the coach online office. I've read books on business. I've talked to other business owners. I want to learn as much as I possibly can so that I can have those growing pains go away. You have to run this like a business. You have to treat it like a job if you want it to be your job. And so I thought that analogy was so great, because it's really true to a lot of what I see in coaches that are struggling, is they're still treating it like they're an employee of Beachbody, but you're not an employee. You're an independent contractor. That means you own your own business and you have complete control, complete creative control, everything of your business. You can grow this thing as big or as small as you want. It's up to you. For me, I'm going big. I love the idea of spending all my time half with my family and having complete control of when I'm spending time with them and when I'm spending time with you guys. You're students of life in this business, but you don't have a teacher. The teacher is the internet and your ability to go out there and seek out the knowledge. It's like the difference between going to high school where you get assignment and going to like, yeah, you can either pass or fail. It's up to you. Are you going to show up or not? You don't have to. We're not going to tell you to anymore. There's a big difference. And that's how this business works. I'm not going to come after you if you don't do it. It's your business. You don't show up to the calls. It's cool. But I'll always be here for you when you do want to show up. Because I really do want you guys to succeed. And I know all of you deep down want to succeed. But are you willing to do the things it takes to succeed? And obviously, to learn from our experience, learn from our tips, learn from all the other coaches that you have access to. Because for those of you who are new, most teams, you don't have access to other people on your team. You only have access to the person who signed you up, which is your upline sponsor. That's only one person to learn from. What if you have totally different learning styles? What if you have totally different ways of thinking? The reason why I kept the team the way it is, where we're all engaged with one another, is because I want you to learn from each other. But if you don't interact, if you don't put yourself out there and find the ways that you can contribute to the team while also gaining knowledge from other people, then you're going to lose out on what's so great about this opportunity. I'm so thankful that you guys are on the call tonight. I had a quote that I wanted to share with you that I saw somebody posted. It just said, life is an echo. What you send out comes back. What you sow, you reap. What you give, you get. What you see in others exists in you. Remember that life is an echo. It always gets back to you. And that's so true. In this business, if you add value without expecting something in return, if you just add value, people will come into your life that add value to your life without expecting anything from you. The more I've gone after this business and not try to sell things, but just make an impact, the way that Melanie said, I just want to change somebody's life, the more I focus on that, the bigger my business has grown. And sometimes I don't know exactly how it happens. Sometimes I don't know where all of you. It's a blessing, and I just have to realize that what I'm putting out, I'm getting back. So figure out, if you're not liking what you're getting back, where you're going wrong with what you're putting out. Our post-call call to action, I want you guys to step outside your comfort zone and write 3 people and ask them for a referral for your challenge group. Let them know that for every friend that found your pack, you'll give them a $25 gift certificate. If that's something that you want to do. If you don't want to offer the 25% or $25 gift certificate, it's up to you. If you want to offer something else, completely cool with me. But I really feel that you guys need to tap into your markets. You guys have a way bigger market than you give yourself credit for. Don't look at the surface. The surface friends, the people that know you, they know your past, they know the stuff that's kind of been not so great about you. You know, maybe a couple months ago you were in depression, you posted some weird things on Facebook. Been there, done that. Like when I first got in this business, trust me, nobody that was a part of my group, because they thought they knew the old me. And even though you might have already changed, people remember the old you, and they still question whether or not you are in this. You're just beginning, so they're kind of, they're gonna sit back and watch. But your friends' friends will only get to know the new you, the person who you really deep down inside are. So I felt like my second and third layer of friends were the people I had the most success with in the beginning. So tap into that network. You have to tap in. Melanie, as far as the gift certificate, get into that to make sure. If not, you could easily just give them money. It doesn't really matter. But I will check into it and make sure when it's going to be available for you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining the call. I so thank Melanie for all the amazing information that she gave us tonight. That was awesome. You did an amazing job. I know you did, and well rehearsed. I expect nothing less. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you next week. And well rehearsed. I expect nothing less. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you next week.